Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Olonge Ovie Royal. I I am one of the Rhinestone Crafts with Silhouette Studio. Though I've been doing this for years, but I just felt like let me share my experience with everyone because nobody knows tomorrow. So that's why I'm here to share my own experience and to teach the little I know. So we're going to be starting for the first day. We're going to be starting with the fundamentals of Silhouette Studio. Now, when we say fundamentals, we're going to be looking at the tools Silhouette Studio is having. That is all we're going to be looking at for today. So we're going to be making it two parts. The first 45 minutes, I'm going to break some tools to you. Then the next 45 minutes, we're going to continue from where we stop. So, but before the 45 minutes, the first 45 minutes goes out, we're going to be looking at the introduction and the interface, which we're going to be looking at the top menu bar, the right panel, the bottom tools, then page setup. Now, if you look at your Silhouette, well, I use Silhouette. I use a business edition, and I know some of us has the same thing, has a business edition, but some uses the designers edition plus, and then others are using designers edition. Okay, so barely the difference between these three is not too much. The only difference between the business edition and every other one, you can actually export or send files to other Silhouette editions with your business edition. So now to start with, we're going to be looking at the top corner of your Silhouette. My Silhouette is open. This is my Silhouette. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, you can wave your hand. If you can see my screen, you can wave your hand. Now, the first is the top menu bar. Now, when you say the top menu bar, these are the top menu bar where you see your files, edit, view, panel, and object with help. Now, your files, when you click on your files, you see to open a new page. The next one is the new project wizard. Then open files if you want to open any document from your system. Then open recent, probably the recent files you have before, some files you've opened before now. Then you have the merge. When you talk about the merge, you want to import some files, some vectors into your Silhouette mat. So you just click on that, then you want to save. You have the save button, the save there. This is your Control C, Control S, sorry. You save. Then you want to save as. Save as is when you want to save with a different name. Different name. Then you have your save selection. Either you're saving to your hard drive or to your library. Now, your library is your Silhouette folder. Then you see your scan, you see print and all that. Then you go to for your editing, you have under editing, you have multiple undo. For instance, you have something you mistakenly typed and you want to undo it. You click on the multiple undo to reverse back, to go back to where you started from or where you wanted to be. Then when you copy, this is cut, Control X. When you want to cut from a particular page to another page, you cut or you copy, depending on what you want to do. Then you copy, this is your copy, and then paste, in front, pasting something on top of another. Good. So like that, you have your delete and then duplicate, select all, deselect all, select by colors. You know, when you have multiple colors on your page, you now click. You can actually select by colors by picking the colors from separating the colors from the ones you don't need. So when you go to your view, in your view, that's it. We're looking at the top menu bar. When you look at the view, you'll see your zoom, rotate page. You have the show ruler. Now you can notice that all these, some of them are checked. Now, how do we go about that? Now, this is what you will do at your own leisure time. Go to your view, those ones that are checked, uncheck them to see what happens. Uncheck them to see what happens. If you don't see what happens, this is for the ruler. Now, let me uncheck it back. You can see that these are the rulers. I'll go back there, uncheck again so that you see it's not there again, the ruler. That's for your measurement. So I'm going to go back and put it. I needed it. So go to your view again. Now you see show guides. Now, if you look at it, look at my screen, I'll go back there and then uncheck the show guide. Show guide, let me move this away to this side. Okay, check the show guide again. Now, do you see it? These are show guide. Now, I'm going to take it out. Then check my that was my show guide that I clicked on earlier. Okay, uncheck that because I don't need it for now. Sometimes if you need it, you go there and put it back. Now, click on that back. So you have your snap guide. Click on the snap guide. It's not showing anything because there are some specific things you need it for. Now, design layout. Control D. Let's see design layout. Design layout. Uncheck. Actually can uncheck that. So let's go to the panel. Now, panel has a lot that you need to go with. You have the fill colors, the lines, styles, select by colors, tracing, image effect, text styles, spellings to correct spellings, transformation. All these that you're seeing here, they are actually on the right side of your software. This right side here, you see them here all around on your right side. You see them there. Then your object. Click on the objects. You have your mirror. When you talk about mirror, now, for instance, I'm going to type a letter A there. Now, when you talk about, let's see, A and B, stretch it. Now, let's see mirror. Now, this is when you want to mirror. Now, you can see it's highlighted because the words inside are highlighted. That's why you're seeing it. You can see the mirror. Excuse me. The flip horizontal and then the flip vertical is not highlighted. Why? Because the A and B that I wrote is not highlighted. So let me highlight it and then go back there. You will notice that the flip is there. Once I click on the flip, it flips it to the opposite side. Click on the vertical, it goes upside down. Now, all these you see on your objects, they are also on the right side tools here. They are also on the right side. So don't worry, we'll get to that point later. Get to that point. Then your right panel. Your right panel, which is this. These are your right panels. We talked about the top menu bar, which is this. Now, this is the right panel. The right panel. Now, these are the right panel. This is this particular one. The first one is the page setup. Your page setup. Now, every Silhouette Studio has a page setup. Now, this. Hello, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I think I need to share my screen again. The network is disturbing. The network is not good here because the weather is a little bit shaky. I hope you're hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
If you can hear me, can you wave your hand, please? If you can hear me, wave your hand.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Hope you can hear me. Okay, as I was saying, this is the setup page. The setup page. Why? Oh. The setup page. Hello, please. I feel you're not hearing me because the icon for the speaker is marking X. Is marking X. Okay, so good. If you can hear me, let's go on. Let's go on. So this is the setup page. Now let me take this aside. Now, on the design area setup, you have the machine, which is alt. Once you click on it, you will see all the Silhouette brands on them. Now, automatic, which is auto, automatically it selects once you connect your laptop or your system to your device, it automatically it will detect the the type of silhouette you're using. Now, if you look at it, you have the Cameo 5, Cameo 5 Plus, the Portrait 4, Curio 2, Cameo 4, and so on and so forth. Now, because mine is set, I can use it on any. I set it on auto. So any Silhouette machine I connect to this my laptop, it will automatically detect it. Now that is that. Then two, you have your cutting mat. This is your cutting mat. At the moment, this is my cutting mat. At the moment, is on 12 by 24. 24 is the length, and then the breadth is the 12. Now, if I go click on it and I select 12 by 12, now it reduces it. That's my setup, depending on whatever I'm trying to do, whatever I'm doing. So this is my setup. So I always like using 1224 because I do a lot of portraits. I do a lot of portraits. So that's why I always like using 12 by 12. I mean 12 by 24. Then the height, the width of the mat is always 12 inches. Then the height is 12 as well because right now it's on 12 by 12. Now, if I may go back to 1224, I have this. Now the height here changes to 24. Now the temperance, it has nothing to do with the math or whatever you're doing. Now, when you go to your orientation, now the orientation now is your portrait or your landscape. Now, it's actually on portrait. I mean, it's actually on portrait. And if I click on this, it's on landscape. It's on landscape now. Now, this depends on the way you want to cut, the way you want it to be set. There are sometimes some letters or some words that you converted that you are designing is longer than your 12. You can actually use your landscape. This is the landscape. Now let's go back to the portrait. Now the media colors. Now when we talk about the media colors, let me click on this and select the media. Now, the media colors is actually for the matte. If I change the colors, it changes. It changes like that, changes like that, changes like that. Now, let me open a file, a picture. Let me open this picture and let's see how it is. Let's see how it is. The one I've done on the ground. Let's wait for it. Good. Now, the media now is on white. Now, if I take it, I change the color, you see it. If I change the color, you notice that it is exactly the same person. But if you change, if you move the colors, still look like the person. But if I do a blue, still look like the person. Now, this is how I determine my work, especially the portrait on t-shirts, on the colors I'm going to be working with. If I'm going to work with this picture on a white t-shirt, it's not going to be clear. So I can never use this portrait now for any white t-shirt, but any other colored t-shirt, any other colored fabric, which is a little bit darker, can bring out this portrait. But on a white, it won't work. So that is that. So let's go back. Now, let's go back. We've seen the media color, then your rotational, rotate view. Now, the rotate view, let's go back. Let me select this. Now, it's like this. Let me click on this. You can see rotating it depending on how it is, how you want it. Now, going back. So those are the functions of your page setup. Page setup. So those are the functions of your page setup. Now, let's go to cutting mat. This is our cutting mat. Our cutting mat. Let me take it to, this is the cutting mat. This is the cutting mat. Now, with the cutting mat, you have your design already on the mat. Now, you want to cut. You can actually go to your send, click on your send, click on the send. Right now, I'm not connected to any of my Silhouette machines because I'm not in the house. I'm in the school where I teach. So I have a work to do. That's why I'm here in the school. So now on my cutting mat, if it's connected, you will see this one available showing ready to be cut. Now ready to be cut because this design is actually on rhinestone. So you can see on the right side, top right side, you will see the rhinestone template, and then always cut. Once you click on this, why I cannot click on them because it's not connected to any of the Silhouette machines. So right now it's moving. It's trying to detect to cut edge, just the edge, not inside, just edge like this. So it must always be on cut whenever you want to do any cutting, whether a vinyl or a rhinestone. It must always be on cut. It must always be on cut. Now you notice that the blade depth, you have the cut rhinestone template, which is what we have on the mat. So the passes can never be 3. Passes are always 2. 2 passes are always 2. Why this is 3 is when the blade cannot cut as sharp as before again. That's when you can now add the passes, make it 3. But if you want to get a new blade, you can actually get a new blade and not use your passes to be 3, because sometimes when you cut with 3 passes, it takes longer, and if your mat is not set properly, you're going to cut it wrongly. So it's advisable for you to, once you notice your blade is fading out, it's advisable for you to get a new one. So let's go back. Let's go back to design. Go back to the design. Now I'm going to be looking at the basic tools, basic shape tools. Now, the basic shape tools, let me go here. The basic shape tools. The basic shape tools, these are your basics. Now, here you will see that you have the basic shape. These are your basic shape. Now, this is the basic shape. You have the rectangle. That's the drawing a rounded rectangle, and then this is drawing an ellipse. You can use this as your, let's click one. Let's click this. Now, once you click it, it gives you this. Then you hold down and sketch it, drag it to fit in. Okay, to fit in. So time is almost running out. So once the time is out, you will give me like every 10 minutes to save the recording. Then I come back online again. So while the time is still running, just trying to show you how you achieve that. Once you get your shape on the mat, go back to your select tools to deselect. Then go back. Click on another shape, drag the shape. Now, once you're dragging the shape, you will notice that the shape actually changes. Now, this is an oval. For me to get a perfect circle, I drag it and then hold my shift down. It becomes a perfect circle. But once the shift key is not pressed down, you won't actually get a perfect circle. Now, here, deselect. Here you see your other shapes that you might want to use. These are them on this side. Now, this is your freehand tools. You click on any of them to draw or to trace on any object you want to, any vector you want to draw. Just is a freehand. Now, here you see your text. Click on it, you are typing your text. Typing, that's your text. Now, the next one is your draw a note. Sometimes you don't really need that. So then this is eraser tool. Once you notice some mistakes while you're doing your freehand drawing, you can always erase with that. Then this is knife tools. Sometimes we need it, sometimes we don't need it. Once you need it, you will know you need it just to cut. That is to cut. Now I'm going to cut this by dragging it over. If it cuts, meaning it will. Now this one, the next one, let's click on the select. The next one is a transfer properties of a shape to a selected shape. You don't really need that. Okay, while it's still running, Now to select multiple objects. Now, if I select this, it's just one. Now, I want to select everything here. Either I hold my cursor down to drag over everything like this, or I hold down my shift key, click on each of them like that, while my shift key is on. It's being pressed down. That is multiple selecting for anything. For anything. So tomorrow we're going to be doing more of that, especially with the rhinestone. So today we're just looking at the fundamentals of Silhouette Studio. So tomorrow we'll be looking at the cursive in rhinestone, cursive and block letterings in rhinestones. Those are the ones we're going to be working with. Now, before the time runs out, now let's go to the right side. This is very important for rhinestones. The transformation panel is very important for rhinestones, especially when you want to edit. It's very important. Like that, so important. So you need that. On the transformation panel, you have series of now the align areas. You have the center, the
I'm
horizontal,
sorry.
vertical. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at that. Then the spacing, you have horizontal and then the vertical spacing. Now, aside that, this one, the next one, this is your letterings. Remember, you have your text at the left side, and then on the right side, you also have your text. Now, this text on the right side shows you how to change the fonts. Shows you how to change the fonts. Now, for instance, now I click on this, you notice that the font has changed. Like that, you move, keep changing it until you arrive at the particular font you want to use. Okay, so that is that. Once you use the one on the right side to type, you can use the one on the right side to change the fonts to get the actual fonts you need for your job. Now, let's leave that to, now this one, the replicate panel. The replicate panels is to duplicate, to duplicate. Now let's see, you can see replicate, you see your duplicate. Now to your right, this is to my left, this is down and up. You see it? Now these are the rows and columns, multiple, 3. This is more, depending on how you want it. Now, especially it works a lot when you are doing rhinestone. But for letterings like this, you don't need it for that. But for rhinestones, it's okay for rhinestones. Now, if I go down, I see multiple down. Or sometimes you want to cut vinyl or flex or flock. You can actually, once you arrange them, you want to set them on the mat, you can actually use them like that. Like for instance, I want to cut this. I need how many copies of this? Let's say 4 or 3. It arranged like it comes like this. Select them together and then mirror it. I'll mirror it, flip it backward. Then I can now cut as my vinyl. So that is replicating files. So we have less than 2 minutes now. So in the next 10 minutes, we're going to come back online. But before the time runs out, let's still look at some other things. This is the replicating, and now this one is your modifying tools. Now modify, you have your word. When you want to word something, 2 things or 3 together. Like for instance, I select this, let's word it. Now you see, that's wording. Undo, let me undo. Now that's wording. Now separating. Let's see if I can separate this. Now, before I separate that, let's change this one to, let's change the color, the outline. You have fill it. Now, let's put this to black. Now, select them. Now, let's separate it. Now, it's not joined, you see? Separating it by dividing it. So I'm going to undo that. Let me return it back to, return it, good. Now change the color back, like that, undo. So let's undo to get the actual image that was actually there. Good. So let's try this other one. This is intersect. Now intersect, that is what it gives you. Okay, there are some things you need to do. Let's crop. It's the same thing, undo. So that is for modifying. Sometimes you need this, but it's not all the time. Now, this is offset. Now, I want to offset this. I want to offset this. Now, if I click on it, offset, if I say offset, you notice it comes on. It comes on. So I have less than 1 minute. So it comes around. This is the original and this is the offset. Now, if I say offset, internal offset, it's actually inside, not outside.